Hey up guys, S-Man here, and today we will be continuing the What If Journeys Took Place in Galar series, and by we, I mean my special guest, Toy God.
Hey everyone, Namaste. Toy God here, and thank you, S-Man, for inviting me on this collaboration. I can't believe that this is actually happening.
Yep, welcome to the channel, Toy God, and please check out his channel in the description below.
And while you are at it, please also like this video and subscribe to S-Man 128 as well. Also, leave a comment down below about what you think about this journey.
So let's get going with our video. Before we begin, I'll be recapping all of our characters, goals, and catches. So far we have Ash, who currently has Sobble, Pikachu, and Scorbunny, and his goal is to be a Pokemon Master and be the first to defeat Leon. And his rivals are currently Hop and Bead. Go, his goal is to catch Mew and train some strong Pokemon in order to do that. And his current team is Ralts, Squirtle, and Diglett. Now Sonia's goal is to be a Pokemon Professor, and she only has her Yamper. Now, Hop, his goal is to defeat his brother Leon and become the champion. And his currently known Pokemon are Grookey, Wooloo, and Corvisquire, and he's currently rivals with Ash and Bead. Now, Team Rocket, its goal is to catch Pikachu and all strong Pokemon, and they currently have Cramorant, Wobbuffet, Choodle, and they have more Pekko living with them, similar to how it does in Journeys already. Now we have Bead, and his goal is to be the champion of Galar, and he wants to make his adopted father Rose proud, and his rival is Ash, and he currently has Tina, I'm pretty sure. And we've met Milo, the grass gym leader of Turffield, and he has Gossifer, Chirom, and Eldegoss. Alright, now let's begin. So we begin basically right after Ash lost to Milo. He's at the Pokemon Center and he's getting his Pokemon healed, and at the Pokemon Center, Hop obviously is going to worry since Ash is way stronger than him, and Ash lost to Milo, he's bound to lose. But Ash tells him everything will be okay and along goes along with what Ash says, and it makes Hop start to feel better. So Hop, Go, and Sonia all start heading towards the gym, and Ash tells them that he will be there to cheer, or he promises Hop he'll be there to cheer him on, and he just got to wait for his Pokemon to be healed. So then they go off. Hop's battle begins, and Hop sends out Wooloo and Milo Gossifer. Ash watches the battle on TV, and then Joy eventually gives him all his Pokemon. And he starts heading towards the gym until Go calls and asks Ash to buy him a snack. Go, come on. Now, while on the line, Ash continues to watch the match on his phone. And eventually he gets the food, but a rookidee comes out of nowhere and steals his food. Back to Hop's match, Wooloo took out Gossifer. We cut back to Hop's match where he took out Gossifer and currently is fighting Chirom, who is already in its sunny form, and it uses Solar Beam as Wooloo uses Double Kick, and the Solar Beam sadly takes out Hop's Wooloo, and it makes Hop start to panic. And he looks into the crowd and he doesn't even see Ash, he only sees Go and Sonia. Ash, fighting off the Rookidee to get his food back, commands Pikachu to use a Thunderbolt, but the Rookidee avoids it and uses Power Trip. Ash thinks for a bit, and then he decides to call for an Iron Tail, which hits Rookidee right in the wing, causing it to fall to the ground in pain. Ash panics because he just hurt the poor thing, so he grabs a potion out of his bag that he had gotten from Nurse Joy in case any of his Pokemon got hurt. And he sprays it on the wing. But during that, the Rookidee tries to use Peck on him, which it hits Ash, but Ash holds back the pain to heal its wing up. Then Ash decides to take Rookidee with him, and he picks it up and puts it on his head till its wing is fully healed, and he grabs his food and runs off. Then Hop sends out his Grookey to fight off Chirom, and he calls for an Iron Tail, and Hop teaches Grookey this based off Pikachu's Iron Tail. And Milo's Chirom is defeated, which causes the send out of Eldegoss. Hop then calls for a range poke, and we cut back to Ash, who's about to run in the gym, but Bead stops him. And so Bead stops him in his tracks, and he brags to Ash since he watched his match, and Ash obviously lost. So Ash walks out off, not getting offended and wanting to ignore Bead so he can go watch Hop's battle. And then Bead sends out Hatina and starts bragging even more. And Ash continues walking off, so Bead decides to attack the rookidee on Ash's head, assuming it was Ash's, and he was just carrying it on his head. And he uses Psychic on the rookidee, and then Ash looks at a nearby TV to see how Hop's going before he fights off Bead, because just hurting the poor rookidee really made him mad. So he looks at the TV, sees Grookey and Eldegoss are fighting, and Grookey sadly gets defeated. Then Bead continues to insult Ash until he sends out his scorbunny. Oh, sorry, I wasn't doing the slides. That was my fault. So he hops Grookey's out. So now it's a 1v1. And then Ash sends out his scorbunny. Bead and Ash start the battle, and Ash commands double kick, and Hatina avoids it, and it keeps failing the double kick because Hatina's avoiding. Eventually, Bead calls for a psychic, which hits Scorbunny back in Ash, and then deciding to try to practice an Ember, knowing Ash, it will be super effective against Milo if he starts to practice more. He has Scorbunny try to practice Ember, but similar to how in Journeys, it was only shooting out small fireballs that do little damage, and this makes Bead laugh to the point where he insults Ash more and more, causing Scorbunny to eventually spurt out a giant fireball, which hits Hatina. And it nearly defeats it until Hatina of I'm sorry, this isn't Hatina, it's Hatine. Oh, it is Hatina. I'm sorry. I was gonna say Hatterene, but that's wrong. But yeah, Hatina then evolves into Hatine, or I don't know what this one's name is. They're all the same to me, but whatever it is, Hatina evolves into it, and Bead calls for a dazzling gleam, which knocks out Scorbunny, sadly. And then he walks off after getting bored of Ash. Then Hop is fighting with Corvisquire, which is losing the battle, but until Ash steps in and calls out for Hop, telling him he can do it. This encourages Hop to then Dynamax along with Milo Dynamaxing. Then after 2 max airstreams, Hop defeated Milo. Milo gives Hop the badge, and Ash and Go run up to him and cheer Hop. Hop, Ash, and Go and Sonia talk, and Hop tells him he's gonna temporarily leave the group so he can go train on his own, and assumes Ash will do the same to defeat Milo. So Hop then leaves. Ash then tells Go and Sonia about the Ember and wanting to practice it more. Go then asks about the rookidee, who has been peacefully laying on Ash's head the whole time and eventually fell asleep, so Ash eventually forgets about it. Rookidee then wakes up, and then Ash offers to catch it since they kind of became friends, and he wants to release it back into the wild, and especially because it protected it against Bead, he wants to go with it. So Ash catches the Rookidee. In important events, recapping them, Ash catches Rookidee, Scorbunny starts its development door in Ember. Ash catches Rookidee, and it currently knows Power Trip and Peck, and it's a really stubborn Mon. And Hop gets his grass badge. Alright, now moving on to the next part. Oops, sorry. And I forgot to mention, Bead has whatever Pokemon that is. I genuinely forgot the name. And the script still says Hatina, so I wouldn't know.
Ash is training Scorbunny to learn Ember, yet Scorbunny continues to fail the fireballs. Sonia is looking at a report of a mural in the grass in the town, and she decides to go and investigate. Milo sees Ash and Go training and meets up with them. He tells Ash that he looks stressed and should take a break from training and come relax with him. Go agrees while Ash reluctantly agrees. Milo takes Ash and Go to his fields and reveals to them that something has been eating their crops lately. Go then comes up with the idea to set up cameras around Milo's field. Ash tells rookidee to fly around holding his rotome phone looking to spot the thing stealing crops. Go creates a plan of using his Diglett to help Milo plant new crops. While Diglett, Go, and Milo are growing new crops, Rookidee spots Team Rocket's Cramorant stealing the crops and storing it in its mouth. So Ash, speaking on Go's phone, tells him to follow the Cramorant and they will find the crops. Ash then decides that he can handle the situation alone. Ash sees Team Rocket and commands for an ember, but it fails. So he tries it again and again and again, failing again. Cramorant then picks up Pikachu and throws him back at Scorbunny. Go and Milo then show up, and Go commands Diglett for an earthquake. Cramorant then uses a hydro pump, hitting Diglett with a super effective move. Ash help Ash helps Go by commanding Scorbunny to use a double kick. It misses Cramorant and hits the rocks that were knocked up by an earthquake from Diglett, and that impact causes the rocks to ignite in a flame. Ash notices this and comes up with the idea of Scorbunny kicking the rocks as an ember. Ash tells Go to use Rock Tomb with his Diglett to summon more rocks for Ash and Scorbunny to kick. All the embers eventually make Cramorant faint and blast Team Rocket again. Ash and go back to Milo, and Ash apologizes for going off by himself because he felt that he needed to prove it to himself, or in simple words, Ash was a dork. He also says that Scorbunny and him are strong, and Go tells him that they did perfect Ember and they did it in a unique way. Milo says no to spoilers like a true MCU fan, and as he waits as he wants to wait for their next battle to see how the new Ember looks like, and they all agree to get back to work to grow new crops. They begin a hard day's work of growing crops, and Diglett clears places to plant the seeds. Milo plants the seeds, and Ash uses Sobble's water gun to sprinkle them with water. The boys finish their work, and Milo agrees to get them some dinner from the town. Suddenly, before that can happen, Ghost Diglett stops and goes underground and evolves because its battle with Team Rocket and a hard day of work makes it want to evolve, so it evolves. Go embraces his newly evolved duck trio, and the trio goes to find Sonia. They find Sonia at the mural in Turfield, and Sonia explains how she thinks that the mural is actually a Dynamax Pokemon. Milo gives his own theory, thinking it can represent how wishing stars land in the fields, frequently, sometimes even causing the wild Pokemon, to Dynamax. Ash asks what are these so called wishing stars, and Sonia tells him and Go about how she can make wishing stars into Dynamax bands. After that, Ash and Go both are excited and both seem to want a Dynamax band after seeing Dynamax in hopes to battle against Milo and possibly like the battle they saw between Leon and Raihan. Ash, Go, and Sonia depart with Milo after their dinner so that the trio can attempt to find a wishing star like Milo told them about. Milo wishes them luck and states how excited he is for his rematch against Ash. Recapping important events. Ash's Corbiny finally learns Ember, Sobble is revealed to know Water Gun, and Go's Diglett evolves into a Doug trio.
So we start off with Ash, Go, and Sonia looking for wishing stars, but then suddenly four fall from the sky. Yes, four. Team Rocket are walking home after the farming incident, and they are walking past a wild Snorlax, and suddenly it randomly Gigantamaxes because all 4 wishing stars hit it, causing it to Gigantamax. Ash, Go, and Sonia. Oh, sorry. And yeah, Dynamaxes. Then Ash, Go, and Sonia arrive, and Team Rocket hears them explain about the wishing stars landing on it, and Jesse and James both think they're little rocks that grant actual wishes, so they obviously want to get it for themselves. So they challenge Ash and Go to a little competition to whoever gets it first keeps it. So yeah. And then they cheat by using their balloon, but suddenly Snorlax uses a max hailstorm covering its body in snow and causing a blizzard. Ash and Go, or Team Rocket's balloon crashes into the snow, and while that happens, Ash and Go start to climb. And then Ash and Go use Doug Trio to use like earthquake to cause like a little cave formation so they can stay in it. Meanwhile, Jesse and James are freezing in the cold. And Jesse has the idea of having Cramorant fly directly up to the top and grab the wishing stars. But the snow causes it to freeze and crash back to the ground. In their cave, Ash has Scorbunny use Ember, creating a new fire with some rocks that he had left over, and Go could have created some new rocks. And while they're around it, Ash starts just asking questions to Go about his goal of catching Mew, and and Go talks about how he's gonna work hard to do it, and he's not sure how, but knows he's gonna work hard to do it. And this is where he says his first, or like the first time, this iconic catchphrase from the actual Journey series: "The future is in the palm of my hands." Ash states that makes zero sense, and Go then asks Ash about his goal, and Ash states he's not sure what makes a person a Pokemon master, but getting a Dynamax Band and defeating Leon will help achieve the goal. Go then sends out Squirrels deciding if they can continue along in their journey if they bring fire on sticks. So, since Squirrel's already a squirrel, a squirrel could easily probably gather some sticks for them, since it's a good climber already. Team Rocket are about to freeze to death, and they all decide what they want to wish for with the wishing stars. James, a master ball for his collection, Meowth becoming Giovanni's favorite Pokemon, and Jesse becoming a famous celebrity that everyone would love. Squilvet then comes back and brings Ash and Go sticks, and they create some torches to walk around through the snowstorm. Suddenly, as Team Rocket's about to die, Snorlax uses a max flare and causes the sun to melt all the snow and basically turn everything into a desert. And since now their balloon's defrosted and so it's Cramorant, they fly, trying to go grab the wishing star. Ash and Go are getting hot, so they send out Sobble to cool them off. Team Rocket make it to the top of Cramorant, and suddenly, so they grab all the stars and try to make their wishes. But suddenly, Ash, Go, and their Pokemon make it to the tree. So Ash decides to send Rookidee to go grab a wishing star from the top of the tree, since they're already at the base of it at this point. Before Rookidee can make it up, Snorlax uses a Max Lightning, which directly hits Rookidee and Team Rocket, knocking them out of the tree. Ash, Go, and Team Rocket they start to argue about the battle, but suddenly Cramorant eats one of the wishing stars. The last, it eats, eats 3 of the wishing stars, with one of them had already fallen off Snorlax. So since there's no longer any wishing stars of Snorlax, it undynamaxes, or however the terminology is, and Cramorant dynamaxes with Team Rocket getting stuck on its beak. And Cramorant eventually just eats Team Rocket. Ash then tries to use multiple Thunderbolts on Cramorant, and Sonia is off with the wishing star that had fell, trying to make a Dynamax Band as quick as she can. Since Cramorant's bigger, the electric type moves are less effective, or they still do a lot of damage since it's water flying, but they're more or less effective since Kramer is smaller or larger. Go then decides to catch the Snorlax since it was able to use max lightning, so it would know a thunder or a light electric type moves, and which we were in the move it knew was Thunder Punch. So then Snorlax and Pikachu fight off Kramer, and Sonia comes back and gives Ash a Dynamax Band, which allows him to Dynamax Pikachu, and then after a G-Max Volt Crash, it defeats Kramer and causes it to call fall a Wishing Star, and Team Rocket get blasted off, basically. And then Ash and Go, or Ash now has a Dynamax Band, and Go can get one in the future since Sonia has the another Wishing Star to make it for Go. Then we cut back to Team Rocket's base where they're trying to use the Wishing Stars, but since they don't work, Jesse throws hers out and suggests James to do the same, but he decided to keep his as a souvenir. Alright, so the important things that happened were Ash gets a Dynamax Band and Go catches Snorlax. Okay, now moving on.
Ash and his Pokémon are training as today is the day to battle Milo. Ash, Go, and Sonia all head to the gym ready for the battle. Ash walks into the gym ready for his rematch with Milo, and he sees Milo, who has been patiently waiting to see Ash's new strategy after learning that he made one. Of course, he was waiting for this to happen and was avoiding all sorts of spoilers. So the battle begins with Ash sending out his rookidee and Milo sending out his Gossifleur. Rookidee uses Peck, but Gossifleur avoids with a rapid spin and sends Rookidee back. Rookidee then uses Power Trip, which hits Gossifleur, and Gossifleur uses Magical Leaf, which Rookidee avoids. Ash has Rookidee use a dual wing beat that Ash had been teaching it earlier that day. This knocks out Gossifleur. Milo sends out his Eldegoss, and Eldegoss? Wait, Eldegoss, I guess. Milo sends his Eldegoss. Ash then uses a peck, which is avoided by a protect. Ash then calls for another peck, which is knocked back by a hyper voice. This hyper voice is so powerful that it knocks Rookidee into the wall and causes it to faint. Milo recalls Eldegoss, and the next Pokemon is on board. Ash sends out Scorbunny, and Milo sends his Cherrim. Cherrim uses Dazzling Gleam, which Scorbunny avoids with a bounce. Cherrim then uses another Dazzling Gleam, which this time hits Scorbunny. Ash then is forced to reveal his Ember strategy here so he takes out the rocks out of his pockets and throw them onto the ground near Scorbunny, where he then uses multiple embers, causing Cherrim to faint. Milo then reveals that Cherrim was actually meant to be more like a bait to reveal the Ember strategy, and that's why he never used Sunny Day because he knew that it would increase the power of Scorbunny as fire type moves are always powerful during the sun. Milo sends out his Eldegoss to fight Scorbunny again. Ash now calls for a double kick before Milo uses any move. Elgos then uses Protect. Milo commands for Hyper Voice, which Scorbunny avoids with Bounce and lands a hit while falling to the ground. Ash then uses the Ember, which gets a lot of damage off on Eldegoss. Eldegoss regains some of its health with a Giga Drain on Scorbunny. Milo now pulls out his secret card, his trump card, which is Dynamax. Milo then decides to Dynamax with his Eldegoss and then commands for Ash then commands for an Ember, which is avoided by a Max Guard from Eldegoss's side. Ash smirks, revealing that he also has a secret plan and recalls Scorbunny back into its Pokeball, and he also Dynamaxes, revealing to Milo that Ash has this Dynamax bind. Milo chuckles and then calls for a max overgrowth, which hits Scorbunny. Ash then calls for a max flare, and this also activates the harsh sunlight for fire moves to increase the strength of fire type moves. With this newfound strength, Ash calls for another Max Flare, which then defeats Eldegoss, fainted to the ground. With that, Milo ends all his three Pokemon while Ash has his Scorbunny still up, meaning that Ash has won the battle. So Ash, Scorbunny, and Pikachu celebrate their victory while Milo walks up to them, congratulates Ash, shakes his hand, and hands him the grass badge. Ash, Go, and Sonia are celebrating Ash's victory when Milo tells them that the next gym is in Hillbury, and Ash, Sonia, and Go decide to head there after they head back to the lab for some training and for Sonia to report some research, recapping some important events. Ash gets the grass band, Ash Ash gets the grass badge, and Rookidee is revealed to know dual wing beat.
Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And big shout out to Toy God for helping out in this video. And make sure you guys go subscribe to him too. Link in the description. Alright, now, peace.